I recently wrote about how I watched this wonderful 10-part documentary of World War II and how there are so many things about that war that I didn't know, like how Hitler supplied his Nazi soldiers with methamphetamines so they could have more energy at the start of the war. And that's how they got their initial tactical advantage over the French, who apparently had one of the best trained militaries in Europe. And speaking of Hitler, I didn't know that he was basically a cokehead. He was coked out of his mind the entire war. And as it turns out, the Allies' biggest mistakes kept happening because they were doubting that Hitler, the cokehead, would be crazy enough to think that he could pull off some of the impossible things that he was trying to do. So he kept getting away with it. And then the Soviets, they lost over 8 million troops in battle. 8 million. And many of them were actually women. In fact, most of the Soviet snipers were women. How fascinating is that? But one of the most surprising things I learned was about the Holocaust and how the local residents who lived closest to the concentration camps, they later told reporters that they had no idea that the extermination of Jews was happening right in their backyard. And even when the Allied forces, who had all kinds of surveillance equipment, when they heard about it from the Russians, they didn't believe that humans were actually being incinerated by other humans purely because of their religion. And it wasn't until they actually saw it with their own eyes at the end of the war that they realized the extent of what had been going on. But of course, by then, something like 6 million Jews had been murdered between 1941 and 1945. And because so few people thought that the Nazis were capable of committing such atrocities, they just kept killing people left and right with impunity. And so that brings me to what's happening today. Black and brown people in America are being brutalized and terrorized by dirty cops and white supremacists right in our backyard during our lifetime. And sure, it seems like little isolated events here and there, but those are just the ones that are being captured on camera, right? This didn't just start happening yesterday. It's been happening pretty much since black people were first brought to America as possessions in 1619. And one day, many years from now, somebody is going to make a documentary about 2020 in America. And those future generations are going to see footage of us going about our little lives, juxtaposed with videos and images of the daily brutalities that are being inflicted upon people of color. And truthfully, it's been happening our whole lifetime. I don't see it ending anytime soon, but I do believe that that narrative can change from what they showed in the World War II documentary. I believe that we can be known as the generation that says, not on our watch. And with every individual action, with every vote, with every encounter with a racist relative or friend or coworker, we can do our part to show those future generations that you and I refused to ignore these atrocities whenever they were happening around us. Now, I'm not saying it's on white people to go out and single-handedly save the world. All I'm saying is that it's on all of us to A, just openly acknowledge that this is happening and that it's been happening for a long time, and B, to just do a little bit more wherever we can, both individually and collectively. That's all. Let's at least just be open to having a productive conversation. Please share this message with your followers. Leave a comment if you have something to say. And otherwise, I will see you tomorrow. Thank you for watching. I add new videos daily, so make sure you click to subscribe so you don't miss out. And if you want to see the next insight, just click on over to the right. You can also follow me on Instagram @LightWatkins, and I look forward to seeing you next time.